Good. Yeah. Everybody good? I would tell you that from day one, our team had a decision to make. Would they be a group of individuals literally fighting for every job on the field, or would we be a team? And I'm here to tell you that I'm super proud of this team. And I say team because of what they've accomplished. And, you know, just to recap what all this team was tasked with. This team has been tasked with coming off the greatest baseball season in school history, where we were SEC champions and made our first ever trip to the College World Series. And just to go over what we lost off of the team from a year ago. And these guys are smart. They're 18 to 24-year-olds. They know exactly what positions are returning, who's back, who's not. And just to recap, off of last year's team, our first baseman signed pro. Our second baseman signed pro. Our shortstop signed pro. Our third baseman signed pro. Our left fielder signed pro. Center fielder went into portal. DH graduated. Friday night starter signed pro. Saturday starter signed pro. Sunday starter signed pro. Closer graduated. And number one bullpen arm graduated. So you're sitting there going, well, who did we have back? We literally had Devin and James back, and every other spot was wide open. And there was a lot of people that never gave this team a chance to even make the postseason. So these guys coming in had a decision to make. Am I going to just do whatever I can to win that spot in that role, or are we going to be a team? And I'm super proud of them because look what's happened. They've become a team. And even to the last day and the last minute, there was still some people that did not know or believe if we were even worthy or going to make the postseason. And here we are now. They completed history, did something that's never been done in Kentucky baseball history. We're playing in our third straight NCAA regional. And I couldn't be more proud of the guys and our staff because I've been in this situation before as a head coach. And when we lost that many people, we finished dead last in the SEC. Dead last. And I'm just proud of this group of guys and the staff because we are now 5 wins away from going back to the College World Series. And that wouldn't be possible without our leadership. Our seniors have been awesome. The staff, I cannot tell you how well our staff has done. And I'm just super proud for a lot of people. A lot of people in this building, the athletic department, the Big Blue Nation, that we get to go shoot for something and do something that's never been done before again. And that's make it back to the College World Series.
Just what were the emotions like last week since that game in Hoover? I mean, it felt like you were safely in, and the last couple of projections came out, and they had you out of the field, and you're not even in the last four when they reveal it. Just what was that like?
Yeah, you'd have to ask the players what it was like for them. I mean, but for me, we met Wednesday morning before we headed back from Hoover, and I literally just laid it out for the guys. And I just said, hey, here's the deal. We're going to talk. This is what we do as a family. When something's on your brain and heart, I felt like I did a bad job after Tuesday's game with them, just my messaging to them. And I just slept on it and prayed about it. And I was like, no, we're going to meet Wednesday morning. And we just laid it all out for them. Like, hey, here's where we're at this point. At this point, we have put our season into other people's hands to make a decision. And typically when you don't win a tournament, that's what happens, right? Now with our league and us being up to 16 teams, I don't think anybody felt like they really knew who was going to be in and who's not and how this was all going to work. But what I told them was I believed in what we accomplished during the regular season, and we had proved that we could play with any team and every team. And therefore, if you can do that in the Southeastern Conference, you can beat the best teams and you can play with the best teams, you're clearly one of the best teams. But we were going to wait and see. And I'm sure for them it was a bit of a roller coaster, but my message to them was really clear the whole time. It's just like, I still believe in this team, and I believe that we're going to keep playing. But we put it in other people's hands. But I still believed in our track record and our resume. I mean, we played one of the toughest schedules in the entire country, and we beat some of the best teams in the entire country.
Nick, with what you said about just the amount of new players coming into the season, did you ever view this season as particularly like a rebuilding year, or did you think that this group could do what they were able to do?
I would tell you that we really liked the people that we brought in, and we thought that, hey, the people that we're bringing in, we really believe that they're going to have an opportunity to help us win. But you just don't know. When you bring in, I think, Matt, it was 30 new players, 29, 31, 30 new players. Like, I wish I could tell you, like, I knew how this was going to turn out, but I didn't. But what I did do is we were very intentional about how we tried to mesh and build our team, from our leadership sessions to what we did in December with our lock-in, the way we made them know their cats early, and we would quiz them in the weight room all the time about each other. And you talk about 30 new people. If I put you in a room of 30 new people and you're just sitting there, it's like, whoa, that's a lot. Like, wait, what's his name? Where's he from? Who's that? But we were super intentional about trying to get them to gel. And the job our seniors have done, and the guys that have been in our program for 3 or more years. I had them stand up yesterday after the selection show, all the players and staff members that have been here for 3 or more years, and just say, hey, you guys have done something that's never been done. But it wouldn't have been possible without them. But I knew it would be an absolute grind. And even from our staff perspective, we were very intentional. I was very clear with them. I believe in professional development. One of the things that we talk about in our program all the time is continuous improvement. It's actually a roof of our house. And I challenged our staff this year that I would do whatever we can. Financially, we would pay, we would do whatever for them to all get better, including myself. I'm going through a year of mentorship with John Maxwell, the author, and a group of about 60 leaders throughout the country that I need to challenge myself to be a better leader. And our staff has done that, like from our athletic trainers to getting more certifications to our coaches watching and attending clinics. Like, we knew that we had to be at our best for these guys, for us to do something. So we were super intentional about the way we went about it.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the SEC as a whole? You guys got 13 teams in, and you weren't, as you just said, you weren't even one of the final 4 in. What kind of a gauntlet is that, and what does it say to the rest of the country about how deep this SEC is?
Yeah, our league is, we talked about this too, but people asked all the time, like, hey, what's Oklahoma and Texas like in baseball? Like, I said, well, let's review that. Texas has been to Omaha more than any college baseball program in the entire country, and Oklahoma just played for the baseball national championship in 2022. So yeah, our league just got better. So I would tell you that I love our slogan on the wall out there. It just means more. And that's what the league has done, is like we've continued to get better and add more teams. And the thing that I'm appreciative about is the rest of the country knows, and they understand maybe now at a higher level. And when you just look at our non-conference winning percentage, it was over 840. I think it was 840 this year, up from a year ago. So when you just look at what our league has been able to do, not only against each other, it is a dogfight. I would tell you, I think in our league, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think an SEC team has played for a national championship 15 of the 16 years. Let that sink in. That basically says, like, who's it going to be this year, right? And so our league continues to get better. And the thing that I'm excited about is I truly believe that the rest of the country understands that too. And that's only good for us. That's only good for us.
Nick, can you talk about the regional teams, specifically starting with your first matchup and just what you see from the other guys?
Yeah. Haven't dove into all the opponents a ton. Obviously, West Virginia, been spending time on them. Really balanced team. Steve Savins is their head coach, also an Embry-Riddle grad like myself. So John Phillips, a good friend of ours, put out a really funny tweet. He's like, the good news is that Embry-Riddle has 2 baseball coaches that are Division I head coaches. The bad news is they're playing against each other in the first round. But a super balanced team. They do a little bit of everything. They have, and I talk about this all the time with some of the best teams, but they have speed, they have power, they can steal bases, they can pitch, and they defend at a really good level, obviously. And really going into the last couple of weeks of the season, they're on the verge of being their own regional host. And they won the Big 12, right? Like, so they're an extremely, talented and good team. And then Clemson, obviously, they're hosting again, and they've been on the door of Omaha. So, yeah, those teams, and I haven't dug into our other opponent, but super, I think anywhere at this point, you sit there and you look up and you're going to go, man, just about it. Any team can win any regional at this point. And, yeah, we're 5 wins away from Omaha.
Obviously, Tyler is really talented when he gets drafted. It's not always given, even really good freshman or anything, the ground running the way he did. What does it say about his makeup, the way he's handled that spotlight?
One thing that we believe is that feedback is the breakfast of champions. And if you ask our players, they will be able to recite that back to you. And at the end of every fall, we ask our players a series of questions. It probably feels like 5 million to them, but we value our players' feedback. Our players are our greatest teachers. And at the end of the fall, one of the questions we asked our team was, who are the hardest workers on the team? And you can only pick 3 guys. Well, who was voted the hardest worker on our team was Tyler Bell. And I really believe this, and I'm going to share this with our team today. There's 2 pains in life, and there's the pain of discipline and the pain of regret or disappointment. And I can tell you right now that Tyler Bell is the hardest worker on our team. But isn't that weird how it's like he's also the most talented? So the most talented guy is the hardest worker on the team. I'm up here the other night in the office. It's 10:30 at night, and I'm hear something in the lobby. I think I'm the only one here. And it's Tyler Bell sitting out here. He got locked out of the locker room because he was downstairs in the batting cages hitting, and he had left his ID in the locker room. And I had closed all the doors behind him, not knowing earlier. So he's down there, and he's like, oh, Coach, you saved me. Can I get in the locker room? I'm like, come on, T-Bell, of course. But it's 10:35. It was actually 10:35 at night, and the guy's in here hitting. Last night, I leave. It's after 8 o'clock. There's one guy in the batting cage. Guess who it is? It's Tyler Bell. Like, he is the hardest worker on our team. So when the most talented guy is also the hardest worker on the team, like, Tyler Bell can rest in his preparation because he knows how hard he works. So I'm not surprised, and I would tell you that I don't think any of the players are surprised with the amount of success he has, because not only is he talented, but like, he's actually working.
Nick, your team should be well rested right now. Is that kind of a silver lining to the way things ended? You don't want to lose that first one, cause you some nervous moments, but how's the health situation?
Yeah, it's good. We're doing awesome, and that's another hurdle that this team had to overcome is, we've had a rash of injuries, and I've been very intentional about not talking about those because, quite frankly, it's like no one cares, really, like besides us in our program, right? But the other teams, they're not feeling sorry for the Kentucky Wildcats that we've had a series of injuries. And you know what? The last 2 years, and I feel comfortable talking about this now publicly, but the last 2 years when we were in the postseason, 2 years ago, we're at LSU in the Super Regional. You look up, had every player in our program available. Last year in Omaha, every player available. This year, not the case. We've had 4 season-ending injuries. And then at times we've had up to 7 guys out. But this team has overcome all of that. And I have so much respect for this team because of what they had to come in and what they had to carry. And so this time has been good. We scrimmaged this weekend, short inter-squads. They were super intense, came down to the last pitch both times. The guys played with tremendous energy, and guys are getting healthier. The guys that have been out, like Cole Hinchell and, Pat Herrera and some of these guys, the time has definitely been good for us for rest and recovery.
You talked to Feinbaum prior to the tournament about the moments. You broke down all the numbers.
Yeah.
Really interesting. And you ran into a few more of those in Nashville. Didn't always go your way. What is this team been like dealing with that? Because it seemed like last year, every time it went your way, this year not so much. But tell me about the emotional makeup of this team in situations like that.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because yesterday I just told them how proud I was of them, because when we went through that stretch where we were losing those 1 and 2 run ball games, there's so many other teams that would have just folded and been like, man, this is too much. This is too much. And this team did not do that. Like, I have so much respect for them. But a lot of it has to do with some of our leadership, the guys that have been in our program. Like Devin, who's been here 5 years, and Evan and James and Novi and Patty, and these guys that have been in our program, they've helped us. And one thing I've tried to do a good job with this team is just helping them understand how close we were and are in those moments. So you're right. The average SEC team throws 154 pitches a game. So if both teams do that, we're up to 308, right? Well, we throw a little bit more than that. So in our 30 SEC game season, there has been 5,668 moments that have happened in our 30 SEC games. So every pitch, like in football, a snap signifies a chance for a play. There's been 5,668 moments. I can tell you that we are 9 plays away from being back-to-back SEC champions. I've got it down to 9 plays. I can tell you every single one of them. And I say that because that's how small the margin of victory is. And to get this team and to get this group of new players to understand that, it's a real challenge, but they understand it now. And I told them yesterday, I'm like, I hope you guys understand now. I hope you understand. Like, why is it that we say the standard is the standard in our stopwatch and we time everything? And we did this bunt game yesterday where our defense had to get outs and our offense had to execute outs. And I mean, it is to the 100th of a second. But that is the margin of victory. It is so small. And I can look you in the eye now and tell you, I believe the team understands that now at a higher level. And quite frankly, we didn't in January. We didn't in January, but they do now.
Your previous regionals were played over here. How do you approach going on the road for a regional now?
Yeah, first time in my 9 years that we've been here. We have guys in our program that have been on the road for regionals before, so we'll rely some on them, but then also for our guys. But the thing I just want to remind them about, and I've told them, is like we have played against and beaten the best teams in the country. So like regardless, it's like, hey, this is where we're told we're going, so we have to go and execute there. And really for us to get as comfortable as we can on someone else's field.
Does your coaching approach change any at all, home versus on the road? Or I assume you're still going to be just as aggressive as you usually are?
Good question. I have been checking the weather. As coaches, we have to be part-time weathermen. So the weather in the field and conditions will dictate definitely our style of play, and then the opponent. So, but as far as us, pitching and defensive wise, that will be the same, and then offensively, the field will dictate some of what we do or not do. So that does play a factor for sure.
Have you decided your pitching plan for the weekend in terms of Ben's pitching on Sundays all season, but would you put him in game 1 or have you made that decision?
Yeah, we have bullpens today. We've talked a lot about our rotation. We have our rotation in a spot, but not in a spot where I want to make it public. So, but we do have, and we are positioning and moving the pieces to line it up to try to win the regional. Yeah.
Coach, what's been the most gratifying thing for you so far this season?
All right, you trying to make me cry? It happened yesterday. Just watching our guys celebrate yesterday it's been the highlight. And Kristen Reeves was there, and I just watched them celebrate. I looked at her, and she's in tears, and I'm in tears. And I told them yesterday, I was like, listen, when you guys have families one day, and you have an opportunity to have children, if that's what you choose to do, or if you lead an organization or a business, to watch your people celebrate with pure joy. It's my favorite thing on the field or being involved in college athletics to witness. It is, you've heard me say that over and over. Like to watch a group of individuals, like grown men, our coaches, our staff, I'm talking about everybody, like our kids, our players, like to watch the pure excitement and emotion. Yesterday, favorite part of the season, to watch them celebrate. And I told them this, because no one will understand the amount of hard work and discipline that it took. No one will understand the sacrifices that they had to make. They don't understand. No one will understand. It's like this team had over a 3.4 team GPA. We had 12 guys with a 4.0, 7 guys with a 3.8 or above. No one will understand what it was like for them to get up, some of them at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, and make an 8 o'clock class, and just know if I don't go, the coaches are going to hold me accountable, and my teammate's going to be held accountable, so I got to go. No one's going to know like what it took for them to be like, you know what? It's the night of a game, but I have a test due and I need to study. They won't know. They won't know all the time that they spent extra time hitting in the cages, working under delivery, watching video. No one will understand the amount of time, effort, and energy it took to get to this spot, but they do. And to watch them celebrate, for them to have an opportunity to keep doing the thing that they love to do, and that's play baseball and be around each other. It's like my favorite moment.
Couple
Nick,
more
we
guys,
give
we'll
this
get the
adage
players in here.
that you are what your record says you are. When you talk about these 9 plays, it sounds to me like you think that this team is a lot better than what their record indicates. Am I interpreting that correctly?
Yes, and I can look you in the eye and tell you that I really believe that we're one of the best teams in the country and that we can beat some of the best teams in the country. With that said, we can also be beaten by any team. And I've told the team that this year, all season long. And I told them our schedule, we can beat any team on our schedule, but we can be beaten by any team on our schedule. And that remains to be the same. So with that, knowing that, to have the confidence to go out and execute what we've been trained to do, but also to have respect for our opponents, like to have the respect for our opponents, that not only do we believe we can beat you, but we understand that you can beat us too. So we're going to respect our opponents, and then we're going to do what it takes to win the baseball game. Yep.
That's good.
Thank you guys. Yep. Go Cats.
Here first.